Rest in peace, Tio.
At least according to Star GG, we haven't seen anything else. So presumably, you'll get to find out alongside us here on stream.
We'll get to see. Hard to say, hard to like, but it will be one of the two casters able to wrap out one of their days and put them on the mic.
Meanwhile, we'll have Danzello versus Sparks to determine another one of those lower qualifiers, and then Bagel will be joining back with us to fight against Giga later on.
Very interesting matchups. Giga making a solid run after beating Lucius, right? In
Yes,
the
that
round
was
of
a
16.
3-2.
Ooh, close. Giga's been playing really well as of late as well. Giga and Sparks, like just a ton of like potential killers, like different, like how different brackets and different matchups can shake out.
Yeah. And definitely, like, you couple in with more of the oddities for the characters themselves.
For sure.
Like, you have, of course, the premier pilots of Sylvanos and Eliana, as you mentioned. But then also, Giga's also been relying on the Hodan a lot. And that is another character that's just a bit of an oddity.
Yeah, much more I would classify the co-main rather than the main secondary type of vibe.
Yeah.
Where it's like that Hodan is here to stay. But we got to worry about the future in the future and the present in the present. It is Akashi and Plastic Dinos starting it off on Merchant Port. Let's get it rocking.
All right, and for a very different style of ABSA, as it were, as well as we've seen plenty of Penguin this evening, but the way that Akashi's able to control space, I do think is maybe not as well suited for fighting against the likes of Dinos. I'm curious to see how well it's going to go, just because I'm worried about control over the base platform specifically, not so much the secondary platforms.
Big no fun zone there, able to set up the counter and then can't even from the ground let loose the forward tilt. No full screen zoning as long as that thing is there. You got to play up.
And that's why I specifically brought up the other platforms, because there's a lot of opportunity for Clarion to deny space here. I wasn't even thinking of the no fun zone, but it goes without saying, no fun is to be allowed. But like, the fact that Dinos is going to be very willing to strike on the platforms and at least make it so that it's not safe landing is going to force Akashi to be very mobile.
Wow. Ooh! Instant tech off in order to get back to stage. Even before the bomb went off, that was Dinos without a jump as well. So very, very clean play in order to get back into not just a safe position, but also a winning one.
Yeah, the do or die ends out well for Dinos, and still building on that percentage for the second stock now for Akashi. I like the insistence on trying to play inside the shields, even though Akashi very much trying to force the action outside of it.
Yeah, that's a tough road for ABSA to take. Having to force your way into a very specific zone.
She's too thin. She's too small.
Damn. Slender goat.
That's crazy. We'll be seeing Clarion buffed after this now.
Hey, gotta remove that blind spot, you know? What do you mean the sword is the thing that you're hit by? You're obviously hit by the hilt.
Yeah.
Come on.
She sweeps the leg.
Speaking of big sweeps, that down strong closing up the stock after just a neutral tech. Looking real nice here as Plastic Dinos on this first game and continuing to press forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the lead and he's playing with it very well right now.
Down strong. Oh, the fake was so nice. I love that deep offstage feint there from Dinos. Push.
Try to bait out the Cloud, does not want to play around with it. That Cloud is the ticket to Akashi buying back a lot of space and momentum in the set. Looking at this game looking kind of cooked. But, like, you still have an opportunity to be able to lead and at least force out some energy from Dinos. Plus, like, this is ABSA we're talking about. There's less ABSA on the screen that we're talking about.
No more GOAT. Instead, it's just Clarion. Who's a panther?
I think
she's a panther.
a cat of some sort.
Yeah, definitely large cat.
Someone in chat can correct me, but I'm just going to say cat.
Because it's like, according to the comic, she's the daughter of Forsburn, or the granddaughter of Forsburn. So there's like hyena in there too.
Now, I don't know how that works.
Me neither.
Because, like...
Not certain. Shout out to the comic, though. It's really good.
Yeah, no, we love it. We love lore. We love lore.
I love lore.
Russell, I am not enough of a animal enjoyer, I suppose. I simply don't know enough cats. I like the orange ones.
what species is your cat? Orange. Oh, what a grab. Hey, we're on Tempest, though.
Yeah, rare Tempest sighting.
This stage is like the counterpick of all counterpicks. Because a lot of stages in Rivals feel like they are counterpicks because they can heavily benefit one character. But this stage just has such an awkward layout that it can never be anything but a counterpick, and oftentimes has a ton of unique applications dependent on character.
Sometimes it even makes players forget their options for returning stage, as Dinos just sort of sinks like a rock.
Feels bad, man.
It's like, layout-wise, the stage, relatively speaking, is similar in vein to, I would say, Spirit Trade. It is, the platforms are very close in. It is relatively a laterally oriented stage, but it is a far larger stage. And because it is covering such a much more open space, you get to really play around with that space, as opposed to like feeling like you're trapped in your land rings.
It definitely seems like Akashi knows much better how to trap on this stage than just the obvious utility that would offer a character like Claren. Oh, go for the moonwalk and then the downer after. I like the gumption from Classic Dinos to try and force their way back into this
game. You died for it, but you got to put respect on
it. Like, I respect it, right?
Yeah.
And Claren can attack the platforms pretty well, but utilize them kind of less so. It's an interesting dichotomy when it just comes to the edges of this stage as the parry comes down, unable to get caught by the down strong, as man, Akashi's putting on some pressure.
Again, it's very much like we saw when Dinos was in the lead with Game 1, like with this game from Akashi's perspective. You take advantage of the lead that you've built up. You get to play with a bit more fervor, and you get to just extend that lead. Look at how he's been lapped in percentage already, and Dinos hasn't really shown any ability to take the stock here. He's just been focusing a lot on returning to the stage, just trying to stay alive.
While this corner pressure has been really, really solid for Dinos, especially the avoiding of that up strong.
Whoa!
Bad punish. Just nothing more to say about that one. You had anything in the world and you chose down strong, but it does not matter. Able to close out the game regardless with a win, and that 1-1 set count will be in our future.
All right. We got the classic, the rubber band.
Yep.
We'll see how it bounces.
Yeah, see how it...
I like the immediately getting rid of Fortress. Like, just be gone.
Yeah, we're not doing this. You do leave a lot of traditionally good Claren stages open, one of them being Spirit Tree. You gain a lot from these side platforms without having to worry about the weirdness of where they are with what stage were we just on? Tempest.
I was actually just about to bring up about how, like, I alluded to how Tempest is somewhat similar to Spirit Tree.
Yes.
And I think seeing them back-to-back is a great way to visualize this. Like, you have a lot more control of the space. The game is a lot more oriented to fighting alongside the base plat and rewarding that base plat control with control of the secondary platforms. Whereas I feel like with Tempest, it's almost the reverse. Like, you are rewarded for very strong platform control with safety of the base platform to adjust how you want to play. So, with that all being said, Classic Dinos has already shown very good control over base plat, at least in various bouts of neutral across the past couple games. With that, we got some big platform payoff for him.
Platform play and platform payoff, honestly. Like, it is this entire game plan that he is setting up here is working like a charm, and traditional ledge traps that work so well for Absa on a stage like this, thanks to her amazing ranged coverage, just get shut down in the nick of time.
Oh. Not the roll coverage. Oh no.
We're covering stand and roll, so you better parry or jump.
First ABC is the way we be reading. Nice.
You gotta jump for your life sometimes against Claren, because there is a whole lot of coverage happening, and that parry is gonna lead to all of that damage paying off.
Love the coverage from the up special. That could be said by both characters. Just the way that Clarion off social able to cover the platforms in its totality, just building the damage effortlessly. And then from Akashi being able to maneuver around it. Oh, no.
Okay.
He's wild for it.
I wanted it too. I really did. Like, seeing that grab was a recipe for disaster, and I was here for it. Third time that's happened.
SBS, please. Please don't do this. I know it's with Touchstream like 3 times.
It's fine. It's balanced.
Let us have this, please.
Oh, the charge was disguised. Thought it was getting towards the blast zone. Actually read the tech roll in. And any damage is good damage. The down strong comes in for Absa, but...
The distance no from someone who wasn't Akashi has the very connected.
Killing me. None of these games have been close, by the way. It's killing me. Just 2 stock, 2 stock, 2 stock, and here we are.
Ah.
Good. Good.
Sage wisdom from behind us.
Right. Oh, we're tempting the random button.
That's crazy.
Precarious. You cannot go back to Tempest.
Nope.
Correct. Welcome,
ESR in effect.
welcome to David and his stupid rule.
That rule be stupid, but it be saving lives.
That rule is dumb.
Trample Pond it is. And finally, I feel a change in the dynamic when it comes to stage layout. Introducing a little bit of verticality, but at the same time, it's carrying over the same note that we've seen across the previous games where you get rewarded for your platform control with just total stage control. Base platform not really being the focus here again.
Not to mention the overhand as well, being so useful for both characters. You get that little bit of extra distance that you can take for a long, long way.
Yeah. And it seems as Akashi will be starting this one on the right foot.
Let's see if you can keep the right foot on the block.
I'm told a bit too slow to answer there.
What is always worrying about positions like these is, in the back of your mind, you're always considering, like, how do I not throw this? Like, you have a huge lead that you're taking very good advantage of. But what is so dangerous about a player like Dinos is that they see the code sometimes of how do I turn this situation into a win for me. And a couple of those reversals have landed, but none of them have closed out the stock quite yet. It's dangerous positions like those that Akashi is having a little bit of trouble avoiding.
Akashi's hitting the red line with how fast he's trying to make this game go, but Dinos is very open to playing to that tempo, and because of that, we get to see those reckless reversals, and we kind of have been seeing them work out. Kind of.
The proper punish that time. Not going to give Dinos an extra lease on life. I like the pickup on the back air as well. Uh-oh.
Ooh, just stuck in the vortex with this one.
And hunting. The super far fast fall from Absa. Akashi wanted it bad, sending him to Game 5 on a really positive note. Yet, Dinos is still here and still kicking around. Not for long.
About as long as you can finish that sentence, yeah.
All right, Game 5.
Listen, it's as you outlined, very definitive finishes to each of these games. And yet still, the rubber band stretches its way to a Game 5.
The table must be slammed. You gotta put a big old stamp on it. I didn't just win that game, I capital W won that game.
Yeah.
And now we're not seeing anything short of, hopefully, we're not seeing anything short of the best from these two as they head over to Tower of Heaven, game number 5, a top 8 slot on the line. Let's see who's able to make it out of the top 16 purgatory.
One of them enters top 8 on the player side, the other enters from the caster side. Not on the line. True.
They get paid either way. Oh, but it's Dinos here looking real solid, able to best out the Akashi line.
Ooh, the wonky head of bear?
Forward tilt didn't even reach as well. A couple bad breaks there for Akashi. Some rough spacings as the grab comes in. Perfect reaction on both players' parts. Able to find a follow-up on the platform, but DI out of true danger as another down strong with a quick dash in that time to make sure you didn't get the center hitbox or the lack thereof.
Oh, not again. Not again with this roll read.
Down strong, man.
Might down be strong. It's true.
I hit the one side, I hit the other side. You're jumped for your life.
All right, and just continuing. Again, it's the same story we've seen across the previous 4 games. Player takes first stock. They push with all of their might to make that momentum matter. We've seen completely dominating stage control on behalf of whoever takes that first stock. But one thing that's a little different here, the fact that there's a little bit more reserved pushing, I would say, from Dinos. You're not going for any crazy haymakers. Just looking, just push Akashi off the stage. Get him out of here.
Just limit the amount of space that Absa is allowed to go, and like a kind of finale to a thesis that has been written throughout this entire set. Like, get the first stock, snowball when you have the lead, control the platforms, like everything fading into the place where Plastic Dinos is able to establish control and run away with this game 5.
It's looking like what he can do at this point. 36 and counting, and not really looking in danger of losing this first stock of his.
It's looking real good.
I say as he swooshes right into the dude. He just got
That's
there.
on you.
He didn't have to be there at all. And yet still.
And yet here we are. You know,
whether caster or player, both of them looking to put on a show.
the curse is certainly there as we are in the lather, rinse, repeat form of the Clarion Edge guard. No
and
more.
now it will not be repeated.
But
we have an even game.
But we are on our final stock. That X factor of Absa is looking so strong, and if Akashi is able to push Dinos off stage here, but a clean parry down air to down strong, but not going to find the sweet spot on said down strong to potentially push for a juggle or anything of the sort, and not risking. It missed.
Yeah, the DI straight up there. Very dangerous given the percentages at hand, but a good call. And there you have it. It's going to be the side special that covers it as Dinos takes this set 3-2. And we got a hug out. Yeah.
It's got to hug it out. For sure, looking mighty fine in a 3-2 finish in the closest game of that 5-game set. And
yeah, it's crazy how we went from definitive game to game to game to game. And game 5 was honestly looking pretty definitive too. And then all of a sudden, even stocks.
Can just happen like that. It's the reason why a control style character like Clarion is typically, not always, because she does have some craziness herself, typically going to be fighting an uphill battle because of Absa's swinginess. Like, she can feel really bad and disadvantaged, and there can be a couple silver bullets in her game plan due to her floaty or projectile heavy nature, but when she's on, and Akashi showed that very, very well up until the very end, dropping out at